Hello everyone, Dylan here, and this is another top 200 film review. Doing film reviews of my top 200 favorite films of all time in chronological order by year. So this is the fourth film I'm doing, and we'll be talking about the 1954 classic Alfred Hitchcock film Rear Window. Now, Rear Window. This is the first Hitchcock film to appear on my top 200 list, year order, of course. And it's probably it's one of my favorite Hitchcock films. Like, it's so good. It's one of those films that's 100% Rotten Tomatoes. So let's talk about it. So Rear Window. Rear Window is about stars James Stewart again. I talked about him before in It's a Wonderful Life, and Grace Kelly. So it's about James Stewart, who he's a photographer, and his name's Jeffrey. He's a photographer, and he broke his leg while shooting something, and he's in a cast, and he's in a wheelchair in his home. He lives in an apartment complex, and there's a window that sees all the apartments in a big field, in a big complex, in midsection, and some apartment buildings have. So he just spies on his neighbors all day. He has all these names for them. He doesn't know who they are. Miss Torso's a dancer, Miss Hearing Aid who has a hearing aid who makes sculptures, the newlyweds who just married and just moved in, Miss Lonely Heart's a woman who tries to get with men but ultimately fails. You got a musician who's a piano player. You got a couple who have a dog who sleep on the fire escape, and then of course you got another dude who goes by Thorwald, and basically he's the most suspicious looking of all the neighbors. And then Jeffrey starts paying close attention to him with his wife, and then getting into arguments. And then one day he looks over and his wife's not there. And then he sees him taking trips in the middle of the night with a bunch of briefcases 3 times a day. Him showing wrapping up knives and saws and rope in newspaper and packaging away. And then Jeffrey, of course, is very this dude is really suspicious, is what he's thinking. And then he takes his binoculars, he takes his camera with the telephoto lens to spy on them. He tells his girlfriend Lisa, played by Grace Kelly, really great, amazing actress, about it, and she thinks he's crazy. And this is nuts. And then she starts paying close attention, and she's thinking that he might be right about something. So the further investigation about what happened, he thinking that maybe this dude killed his wife or something. So he starts conducting with the help of Lisa. She goes and spies. Finds out one night the dog to one of the neighbors is killed, sadly, right next to roses. And they conducted that the dog was looking for something in the rose bush, and figured that maybe he might have buried his wife there. I mean, worst case scenario. And so he's trying to figure out if he's onto something. So throughout the film, he's just getting close and close and close to what is this dude? What is he done with his wife? And then it's just very suspenseful. The cinematography is suspenseful, the acting, the tension. It's your heart's pumping, you're sweating, you can't breathe much. In that movie gives you that type of vibes basically. And then by the end of the film, the dude Warrenthal, he starts to catch on to who's watching him, and then this big confrontation at the end. It's oh my god, I'm not gonna give too much away, but it's just so good. One of Hitchcock's best films. It came out in 1954. So that was like before his like big ones like Vertigo and the Birds and North by Northwest, which are all great, and Psycho, which I'll talk about, which is maybe my next review. It's just so good. It's just very, it just leaves a big impact. You know, the tension, you know, like you're like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? Like, you don't know what's gonna happen. Like it gets like one of those movies you're like, you have to pay really close attention to in the background. And this way he uses like the cinematography and the panning shots and the use of like no dialogue, like very, very, very low dialogue when we spy on the neighbors. It's just all through Jeffrey's point of view. And it's just so, so good. And it's one of my favorite Hitchcock films of all time. It is a must-see film. It's a 9 out of 10 film for me. It's so, so good. I love it. Rear Window, that's what it's called. Rear Window. Such a great film. If you haven't seen it, please do. It's so, so great. One of my favorite James Stewart performances as well. Definitely watch it. That's pretty much it. That's my film review. And stick around next time. Over and out.